You are 31 years old, a mechanic with your own shop, 10 years turning wrenches for other people before you saved enough to turn them for yourself. The shop is small, 2 lifts, 1 employee, a waiting room with chairs from 1998 and coffee that tastes like regret. But it is yours. You specialize in old cars, not the pretty ones that go to Pebble Beach, the forgotten ones, the ones that sit in barns for 40 years until someone's kids sell them to pay taxes. You bring them back, not for profit, for the work. For the feeling when an engine that has not turned over since Reagan was president coughs back to life. A woman calls you on a Tuesday. Her voice is old, the kind of old that has been smoking since before cigarettes had warnings, the kind of old that has buried a husband and is now burying his things. "My husband passed," she says. "He left a car in the garage. I need it gone." You ask what it is. "I do not know. A big one, black. He tinkered with it for 30 years, never ran." You ask where she lives. She gives you an address in the foothills, a town you have driven through but never stopped in. You tell her you will be there Saturday. She hangs up without saying goodbye. Saturday morning, you bring your truck in a trailer, just in case. The house is small, 1950s, faded paint, a porch with a swing that hasn't moved in years. The woman is on the porch. She looks exactly like her voice sounded. She points to a detached garage, wooden doors, peeling paint. "It is in there. The keys are inside. Take it. I do not want money." You try to argue. You tell her it might be worth something. She shakes her head. "My husband loved that car more than he loved me some days, but I'm not him. I do not want to look at it anymore." She walks back into the house and closes the door. You walk to the garage. The doors do not want to open. They have been closed for years. You pull hard, they groan. Dust falls. Sunlight cuts through. Inside, shapes emerge from the dark. Boxes, shelves, a lawnmower, tires stacked to the ceiling. And in the center, under a tarp that might have been green once but is now the color of dust, something big. You pull the tarp off. Dust explodes. You cough, wave it away, and then you see it. A 1933 Packard. Not a replica, not a restoration, an actual 1933 Packard. 12 cylinders, suicide doors, a grille that looks like the front of a train. It is not moved in decades. The tires are flat, the paint is faded, the chrome is pitted. There's a bird's nest on the passenger seat. But it is complete. Every piece, every part, every piece of trim. You walk around it. You run your hand along the fender. The metal is cold, solid. They built things differently in 1933. You can feel it. You try to imagine the man who owned this, what he saw in this car, why he kept it for 30 years, why he never finished it. Then you get to the back, and you stop. Under the rear of the car, there is something you have never seen before. A mechanism, hydraulic lines, a small wheel tucked up under the chassis, held in place by rust and time. You crawl underneath without thinking, dust in your eyes, spiders running. You do not care. You trace the lines, you find the levers inside the trunk, you find the handwritten notes taped to the underside of the rear seat. 5th wheel, Brooks Walker patent, tested 1933. Needs work. Rebuilt hydraulics in 1972, still not working. Maybe next year. You sit on the garage floor for 10 minutes, right there on the dirt. You don't care about the spiders anymore. You've heard of the 5th wheel. Every mechanic who loves old cars has heard of the 5th wheel. The invention that died because nobody was ready for it. The thing that every car has now, just done with computers instead of gears. You've never seen one, never met anyone who has. You're looking at one now. And you know right there on that dirty garage floor that you are not leaving without it. You spend the next hour clearing the rest of the garage. You find boxes of parts, original parts, spare parts, parts the dead man collected for 30 years. You find manuals, you find receipts, you find a photograph of the car in 1975, parked outside this same garage, looking newer. You load everything onto the trailer. The car goes on last. You strap it down carefully, like it's made of glass. You drive home slow. The trailer feels heavy. Not just the weight, the history. Back at the shop, you put the car on the lift. You stand under it for a long time, just looking. The engine is seized, pistons welded to cylinders by 50 years of stillness. You pull the whole thing, send the block to a machinist in Oregon who specializes in straight eights. He calls you crazy, then he calls you back to say he has never seen one this complete. The transmission is frozen. You rebuild that yourself. Gears the size of dinner plates. Bearings you have to source from 3 different countries. The brakes are gone. You replace everything. Drums, lines, master cylinder, the whole system. The interior is destroyed. Mice lived there for decades. You strip it to the frame. Find a guy in Arizona who reupholsters classic cars. He charges you more than the shop makes in a month. You pay it. The paint is beyond saving. You strip it to bare metal. Find original Packard color codes from 1933. Have a shop in LA mix it hand by hand. You spray it yourself. Takes 3 tries. The third try, it looks right. Your employee quits 2 months in. Says you're obsessed. Says you need help. He is not wrong. You do not try to stop him. The 5th wheel is the problem. No parts, no manuals, just the mechanism itself and the handwritten notes of a dead man who tinkered with it for 30 years. His handwriting gets worse as the notes go on. The later ones are hard to read. You learn anyway. You learn that he rebuilt it twice, improved it 3 times, replaced the hydraulics in 1972, and never once got it working the way Brooks Walker intended. You call museums, you call collectors, you call a man in Ohio who wrote a book on obscure automotive patents. He sends you photocopies of Walker's original drawings. They help, a little. Nobody can tell you how to make it work, so you figure it out yourself. 12 times you assemble it, 12 times it fails. The first time, a seal blows, hydraulic fluid everywhere. You spend a week cleaning it off the fresh paint. On the 12th failure, you sit on the floor of the shop at 2 a.m. and stare at the pieces. You think about giving up. You think about selling the car. You think about the dead man's notes. Maybe next year. You get up. You start over. On the 13th try, it moves. Just an inch. Just a fraction. But it moves. You freeze. You don't breathe. You pull the lever again. It moves more. At 4 a.m., the 5th wheel drops. All the way. Touches the ground. Lifts the rear end. You pull the lever. The car pivots. 6 inches. Then a foot. Then full rotation. The next morning, you pull the Packard out of the shop. First time it's seen sunlight in decades. The paint gleams, the chrome shines. The interior smells like leather and hope. It runs, it moves, it's alive. You drive it around the block, then around the neighborhood. People stop, people stare. A woman watering her lawn drops the hose. A kid on a bike almost crashes. A guy in a pickup truck rolls down his window. What year is that? 1933. He whistles. Beautiful. What's that thing on the back? You smile. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. You keep driving. One day, you decide to use it for real. You find a parking spot downtown, tight, the kind of spot normal people drive past. Cars behind you, cars in front, pedestrians on the sidewalk, a delivery truck waiting to get through. You stop next to it. You get out. People are watching now. A group of teenagers, a woman with a stroller, an old man sitting on a bench. You pull the lever. The 5th wheel drops. The rear lifts. The Packard pivots.
The Packard is parked, perfectly straight, exactly centered. Silence. Then one of the teenagers laughs. Bro, that is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Why does it have a wheel on the back? Just park it normally, calling it ridiculous. One of them pulls out his phone to film it. You can hear him narrating. Check out this idiot with a wheel on his old car.
The old man stands up. That car was built in 1933. The teenagers keep laughing. They're not listening. The old man ignores them. He walks to the back of the Packard. He kneels down slowly, painfully, using the cane for balance, and looks at the 5th wheel mechanism. He touches it, gently, like it's alive. I read about these when I was a kid. He stands up, looks at you. His eyes are wet. I never thought I'd see one. The teenagers have stopped laughing now. They're watching, not sure what's happening. The old man holds out his hand. You shake it. His grip is stronger than you expected.
"Thank you," he says, "for keeping it alive." You stand there for a long time. Later, you sit in the Packard parked outside a diner. You eat a burger, watch the car through the window. People stop. They always stop. Some take photos. Some point. You watch them. You think about the old man. You think about the teenagers. You think about Brooks Walker, dead 50 years, who built this thing in a garage not much different from yours. At sunset, you drive home. The road is empty. The sun is setting. The Packard hums along like it has been doing this for 93 years. Because it has. You pull into your shop. The Packard goes back inside. You close the door. You stand there for a minute in the dark, just listening to the tick of the engine cooling. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you on the road.